I just look up to the sky when I'm feeling. She just an angel with eyes of a demon. She icicle nitrogen type to be screaming. When no one around, she gon' write for me scheming. Even if seeming, I dream to be born again.
What's going on? Today, we're gonna fix the rust on the roof. I already tried to pry this up. This was all bent up. So I'm gonna try to cut like a little bit after this. I don't want to get too close to the windshield, but yeah, this is gonna be a shit show. But I already separated these two pieces here. Here we go. This was like this, just like that, because it was a whole piece. So I separated the piece that I need. Now it should sink down in there once I get this all cut out. So I'm gonna get this cut out real quick and then show you guys what the next step is that I'm gonna take. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the rust piece cut out. It was right here, and I'm dropping my marker. Alright, so got the rust piece cut out. I got this cleaned out for the most part of all the Bondo and sealer and whatever. Now I'm doing what I like to call the million cuts. Trying to match the cuts on this side and make everything fit sort of in there. And so far so good. I'm gonna have to trim this side a little bit, and then once I get the sides trimmed, I'll do inch pieces out just to make sure, because this line has somewhat of a curve to it. So I'm just gonna go inch by inch by inch just to make sure that I'm getting the right cut that's gonna sit down basically flush with this. And that's how we're doing it. Disclaimer: I'm not a bodywork guy. Okay, I don't do things like this on the reg. So this is something I'm doing. Basically, I'm doing for myself, by myself. And you can choose to follow the way I do things, or you can do it your way, or you can look it up and you can figure out a better way to do it. But it's completely up to you. So if you do this and you follow my way and you mess your car up, not my fault. So let me finish my million cuts, and I'll come back when I get this fitting in there properly, and I'll show you what's next.
What the fuck you waiting for? We got the chick. I stuck it, then she started speaking Spanish. And I don't even know if she can handle it. I told her that she gave it to my damn bitches talking about the niggas speaking Titanic.
Alright, so once you get your 1,000 cuts done, it should look something like this. There is a decent gap right here, which I could fill with weld, no problem. But you want to massage this piece and keep setting it in, pulling it out, bending it a little bit, massaging it, you know what I mean, making sure that it fits in there smooth and everything sits in there nice. Everything sits in there good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this all down here around the edges and sand all this around it. And then we're going to start putting some tacks in. The way you want to do this is you want to tack like here, 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 wait a little bit, here, 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 you know what I mean? You don't want to do full beads because it'll warp the metal, because this is pretty, well, it's kind of thin, but you can get the idea. And to hold it in place, I have this magnet. I'm just going to put just like that, and that should hold it. This side is not sitting all the way down all the way, but once I get this top part pretty much welded up, then I can hammer that down and push it and put a tack right here. I'm actually going to drill a few holes in here that I can actually tack it to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to clean up this piece. And look at this. Right here is the headliner. And right there you can see dead into the car. Right there's where the what do you call it? I got to clean this up too. Make sure this surface is clean, and all the surfaces you're gonna weld on are clean. So I got to clean all this up. But let me get this stuff cleaned up real quick, and get my welder ready and everything, and we'll be right back. So after the quick jam session just now, we got the piece welded in. I threw a little primer, black primer over it for now, because a lot of it's bare metal. This is what it looks like. It ended up warping slightly. I don't know if you can see that, but we got a Bondo over all that anyways, so I'm not really too worried about it. But I mean, for the most part, it's turned out pretty good. I ground down all the welds and everything. There's some pinholes and some holes and stuff like that I couldn't really get to, but that's fine. They literally, if you go back to my Bondo Apocalypse video, you could see that they literally gobbed. Where's the piece? They gobbed Bondo in this whole chunk that was right there. I mean, so it was a huge gob of Bondo. So I mean, a tiny little bit of Bondo in the cracks and crevices. I'm not worried about it, and neither should you. So I'm gonna let that dry up. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of sandpaper, and I'm probably gonna start mixing up some Bondo. And we'll lay a thin coat of that on, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I decided to use the what is this? Jesus, Bondo glass. It's a bit thicker, and it's got the fiberglass hairs in it, so it makes it a little bit stronger. So I decided to use that. I got the first coat of this Bondo on there. So I fucked my windshield up by welding, and I got like the slag all over the windshield. So yeah, cover your windshield if you're gonna weld, because the slag puts little holes in your windshield. But it is what it is. But I'm gonna let that dry for a couple, maybe an hour. I know it dries fast, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. While I was waiting, I did get my 90 2.5 coupler, and I got the intercooler piping all tied up and done. So that's what we're doing intercooler piping wise, is done. I got to get a fitting welded on for the blow-off valve, but I got to figure out which blow-off valve I want first, and I got to extend that down pipe. I might do a bumper exit with the exhaust. I don't know yet, though. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I am going to spray this intercooler flat black because it's offset and it just kind of looks goofy to me, so I'm just going to spray it black. So then it's kind of, you can't see it, you know. So that's what's going on. I'm basically, waiting now for that to dry so I can hit it with some sandpaper. And then I'm going to leave the bottom is going to be the Bondo glass, and then after I sand down the Bondo glass, I'm going to use the actual Bondo over top of that, because it lays on a lot smoother. It's not as like wavy. So, and then after that Bondo, I should have spot putty. Yep, spot putty, glazing putty, whatever you want to call it. I have some of this stuff that will go over top of the Bondo and smooth it all out to finish it up. So I'm going to wait for that to be done, and we'll be right back then. So we got the first coat sanded down. It's already looking good. Got a little bit of a low spot here, and then here a little bit, but other than that, we're looking good. I'm going to get a Dremel to get all this cleaned up, so it'll look good. But for now, I'm just worried about this top. So I started over here. We're going to mix up some Bondo real quick, and we're going to lay another coat on this and go from there. Be right back. So we got another coat on there. We're going to let that sit for a while and get this out of there. Now I got fucking shavings in there. But anyway, we're going to let that sit for a while and come back at it again with some sandpaper. I'm going to wrap some sandpaper on a block and block it just to make sure that we're getting a flat surface. And that just might be the last coat of actual Bondo that I might need. So I might actually be able to just go at it with some of that finishing putty. And hopefully that'll be it. But we'll see. It'll be a little bit. I gotta let that dry. Bondo. I don't like to load it up with filler, so I have enough time to work with it. So It's going to be a little bit before it dries. So I'm going to go in, wash my hands, hang out a little bit, get something to drink, and I'll come back out in like an hour or so, and we'll hit that with some sandpaper. And we might be done. So, be right back. So, we are done. I sanded that last coat. It was just enough. I'm going to prime it with some high build primer, and then I'm going to see if there's any pinholes or anything that I need to fill in with the filler. So, this is what we got. Wet sanded, it's nice and smooth. There's a little dip here, but other than that, I mean, I don't know if you're getting, like, it's almost perfect. And I'm going to get a Dremel, and I'm going to go in here and clean all this channel up in here and everything in here. And I'm going to put some sealer on these holes here that I drilled to tack it in. But it's really smooth. Might need to go a little bit right here because I feel a little indent slightly. But I mean, high build primer should really fill that in. I shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But that's how it's done, fellas. Or that's how I do it. It's not exactly how it's done. But what else was I going to show you guys? There was something I wanted to show you guys. I forget what it was. I don't know. I don't remember. So I'm going to throw some black primer over that for now because there's bare metal and I don't have any high build right now, so I'm going to have to go to the store and pick that up. So I'm going to throw some flat black over that for now, and we're going to call it done for this video. So today we got the intercooler piping is finished, routed, pretty much done. We got that rust hole finished, welded, done, all that. And that's pretty much all I did today for the most part. But that's it for now. So now it's time for me to clean up my mess that I made, because I mean there's stuff everywhere. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. Since my my climate control is moved to underneath the dash, I took the knobs out of this and the guts and everything, and I put some Bondo on here, or some fiberglass on here, and I'm going to sand it down smooth and everything, and then I'm going to flat black this so when I put it back in, it just looks like a blank panel instead of having the knobs here when I don't have the climate control there anymore in the dash. Because as of right now, I just have the huge hole where this is supposed to go. So that's, I'm not going to do a video on that. That's just kind of something I wanted to mess around with. But like, comment, subscribe, guys. Peace.